Hey, Ed, there's somebody making a lot of noise. You're going to have to mute everybody.
Yeah, I'm looking for them right now.
Okay.
Okay, Carrie.
I'm ready, but Ed, there's somebody in the background that's got a lot of noise on my end somewhere over here. There's a lot of noise.
I'm going to have to... Okay, Carrie, unmute yourself.
That's better. Yeah, that's much better.
You're going to have to talk up a little bit. You're a little bit weak.
Okay, that's better. That's a lot better. We'll see how that goes. I don't know what to say.
Okay. Let's rock and roll.
Okay, let's go.
So, anybody have any questions to start off or stories to tell us or anything?
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Does that seem any better?
Yeah, that's good.
You're coming through good to me.
Yeah, that's
okay, good. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you,
Carrie.
Yeah,
I got a response back from the district court over there in Richmond, Virginia.
that's good for you.
I hope so. We're working on it. Of course, they went through 13 pages, which they expound on the fact that I'm misconstruing the court order that I received. But I think I've kind of got my pass on going back at them, and that there's no court that says that I'm not telling the truth. Then, if there's no
what they're saying, or what they're basically saying is, they didn't say they couldn't collect, and you agree with that. They didn't say that. They said they didn't have jurisdiction. So if they don't have jurisdiction, they can't collect. So what you try to do is you try to stay away from the words that will hurt you. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. I think
they'll say, "He's got a big go ahead. They got a what?
That wasn't me.
Okay. What they're saying, in a lot of cases, what they're saying is, that's not what it says. It says something about you have to do this in a certain length of time. The problem is we agree. We agree 100%. We never received the statutory notice of deficiency. We never said,
right.
Okay, so how can we send what we didn't get? See? And so they're saying, well, you can't do this again because if you do it, we're going to charge you a $7,500 frivolous penalty. We agree 100%, but the problem is you don't have jurisdiction. So if you don't have jurisdiction, you can't charge $7,500. See, so we use what they say and just repeat what they say, and we're starting to really make a lot of headway with them again. They don't know what to do with this arguing that we're putting forth. See, we're not putting forth together an argument. We're not saying anything about anything. We're saying the IRS has the right to do what they have the right to do. But if they don't have a right to do it, then they don't have the right to do it. Then we share with them where they don't have the right to do it. And they just don't know how to handle it because it's out of control. It's out of control.
Right. I mean, that seems to be kind of what's. They did not threaten me with any money at this point. They wrote back 13 pages and said that I am not understanding the court order for the lack of jurisdiction. And but yet in my court order it does say that based on my objection that I would be supporting the same decision from the judge, which is no decision really. There's no decision from the judge as far as the merits of anything.
Right.
But the judge just said that if I'm right, then the same thing would hold true, that they don't have jurisdiction if I didn't receive my notice of determination, notice of deficiencies.
That would be correct. That's 100% correct. But Under 6212 and 6213, it's required. So if it's required and you didn't do it, we don't have any jurisdiction.
Right. Right. And they keep trying to pass off. It was interesting. In 2004, they weren't really required to give me a notice.
And that's not true.
Well, maybe not.
That's not true.
But it was interesting in their answer that was the only time they put the word statutory in front of their notice of determination. They put the word statutory in there, but then from years following that they were going after me for, they didn't use the word statutory. They said I was sent a notice of deficiency. So I plan on calling them on that.
Right.
My question tonight, then.
Okay.
I don't have this written yet, and I'd rather just wait till I just got this a couple days ago, so I want to write my answer and everything, and then I'll let you parse it like you've been doing so well with. But where was I going? They cited many statutes and everything that have nothing in the Federal Register as far as the parallel table of authorities. Okay. Can I call them on that? Or should I call them on that? Do you think? In just a small statement that says, "You've never accused me of working with alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, and here are the following places in your answer that you've used."
Okay. If one thing is hold on now. If one deal is good, two is better, three would be better than that. So let's bring up as many things as we can. No. The only argument you have that you never received a statutory notice of deficiency and a statutory notice of determination. That's it. Because when you do you understand what the naked lady is?
Yeah, because
see? No. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. What size of shoes you wear?
Anything that doesn't hurt my feet, so I would say anything.
Okay, good. What size of shirt do you wear? What size of shirt do you wear?
Well, it depends on if I'm trying to. It depends on if I want to show my physique or.
That's not a problem. See what I'm doing? Do you see where we're going with this? For 2 hours, I'm going to have you talking about something else. That's what we have to be careful about. I don't care what they say. Did you receive a statutory notice of determination or a statutory notice of deficiency? No, you did not.
No.
It's impossible. It's impossible to get one. That's our only argument. See, what they're trying to get you to do is look the other way. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. What color is a red shirt?
I couldn't tell you. I'm colorblind.
See, now I've got to, what I mean is, I've got to go back, and that's what they're doing to you. So don't start in and let them win. What we're doing is we're telling them what the reason we're there. They can't give you one. They can't win the way they're doing it. So what they're going to do is they're going to say, well, look at over there. That lady's got green hair. Well, look at that one over there. She's got blue hair. What does that have to do with job? See, that's their tactic. That's their motor apparatus. So what we have to do is we have to stay away from that. See? And in fact, if they say to you, well, if they say to you something else, you say, I agree 100%. But I never received a statutory notice of deficiency, and I never received a statutory notice of determination. And send it back. See? Until they overcome that, that's why they're bringing up all this other stuff. Does that make sense?
So at this point, still don't quote them the fact that it must be signed, or just keep saying I didn't
What difference does it make? It makes, because what they're going to do, they're going to come back to, well, how do you know? Well, when did that happen? When did that start? How did you do that? When did that start? How come you, well, yeah, you did it. See, now you're on defense. We're not on defense. We're on offense. I never received, and I never received. Why? See, everything else is irrelevant right now.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. So just keep going that route, and
there you go. There you go. Yeah.
It's 13 pages they got. Are they from the attorneys or are they from the tax court?
They're from the DOJ attorneys.
Okay, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I had 13 pages back from the DOJ on, trying to explain that I'm misconstruing what the tax court said, and blah, 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 lots of different things. And like I said, quoting many statutes and cases and everything else.
It doesn't matter. Pages. None of that matters.
So one page back. There you go. Because I had sent them a notice of default the same day I got the paperwork. So I couldn't really call them in default, probably.
All right, hold on a minute. Did you read your motion that the attorney signed? Did you read it? It's 5 pages. You got an order from the court, but what triggered the order was the motion from the attorney for the respondent.
Right.
Okay, did you read that?
Yes.
Okay, you need to read it, get a copy of it, and highlight in there. Highlight everywhere as it tells you they didn't do something. And then when you take that and superimpose it over your order, it's going to say the same exact thing. There's your answer.
Well, they had they sent me about 50 pages of showing where they sent out their fake notices.
Okay, well, hold on a minute, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I've got 75 gray hairs today. I'll probably have 71 tomorrow. I'll count it. It doesn't matter. One thing matters. Right. What is it? Tell me what matters.
I did not receive a statutory notice of determination nor a statutory notice of deficiency for any of the years in question.
That's the only thing that matters. Because now that you told me that, let me ask you another question. What size of underwear do you wear?
I wear the size that depends on which girl I'm going on.
I never received a statutory notice of deficiency, and I never received a statutory. See, it doesn't matter what I ask you.
Okay.
See, I'm trying to get your mind off of it so that when I ask another question, you hang yourself.
Right. So one page back out of their 13 pages to say the same thing. I agree that's the best way to handle it.
There is no other argument. See, the people that are having trouble with this are the reason they're having trouble because what they're doing is they're going back and saying, well, my mother has 2 left feet. My dad's got a pinky toe that's missing. My mom's got 1 eye that's bent. So what? You're defending. We're not on defense. Those are defense. See, what you're doing is a defensive move. You don't recognize the offensive move. You know what the offensive move is? I never received A. Until you give me that, you can kiss my butt. It's that simple. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
See? So everything else they're doing, that's why it's so frustrating to them. They're trying to get you to answer them, say something so they can come back and say, he admitted what he said was we've had that happen everywhere. Then I've got one guy that's been dealing with this for 7 years because he had to add something to it because he thought it sounded good. They're still coming back saying, well, you said, we can't get them away from that. So, you said 2 things. You never received the statutory notice of deficiency, and you never received the statutory notice of determination.
All right. So, I sent out the default. I sent out the default the same day they answered because I'm not filing electronically. So I did get an answer back the day after they would have defaulted. So I assume that they're not going to call that a default. So I will.
That's fine. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
And that's all my default said too. That's all my default simply said that. You read it, I think. This is Dan in Virginia. You read my letter. You said it would pass the stink test.
Right. So when you get this letter, all you do is answer it. Tell them, say, you never received a notice of deficiency, as they agreed. Tell them, they agreed that I never received one. They agreed I never received one. Send it back. Don't worry about it.
They have never agreed, but yeah.
Okay.
But they said they did send notices of deficiency. But of course, only for 2004 did they put the word statutory in front of it because that one is the one I wouldn't have gotten one for.
Okay.
Probably.
You're not getting it, guy. You're not getting it, okay? You're not on defense. We're on offense.
Right.
So they admitted to the following: never giving me a notice of deficiency. Period. That's your argument. Now, if you want to argue more, go ahead and do it. I don't care. See,
I will.
like I say,
I'll let you parse it. That will be my answer. And thank you very much.
There you go. Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
All right.
Anything
Jerry,
else?
I appreciate it. No, I think we should move on to somebody else. I like jumping in right away like this, and
yeah,
I think it's somebody else's turn.
Yes, well, thank you for coming. We appreciate it. Anybody else have a question?
Yes,
right,
Mike here.
Yes, Mike.
How you doing? What do I have to? I'm Mike from North Carolina here, and I forgot what's safe for information. But I got from Montana. I got a $1,500 tax bill saying I owe them, and they're taxing 75% on it.
Hold on. You got a $1,500 tax bill. That doesn't tell me anything. From the grocery store? From the dairy?
Yeah, it's they say it's from the. They say it's from working a state tax from the Montana Department of Revenue. I don't know who they are. If they're the IRS or I'm not sure.
You're asking me a question I can't answer. I don't know. I haven't got a clue. Send it back and ask them what's it for and who are you. So, you're going to have to find out who it is because there's a state and there's a federal. You can't argue the state under the federal argument. So we have a state argument. You can argue that under the state argument.
Okay. It says Montana Department of Revenue. I don't.
Okay, then that's Montana. That has nothing to do with the IRS. That has nothing to do with the federal government. That's your state.
Okay. Is there any way to argue that, or do I have to pay them?
Of course there is. Of course there is. But I have to see what they've got, and you have to question it. See?
Should I write to them, or should I ask them for a true bill?
Okay.
Please verify and ask for a true bill.
Okay. I don't know what a true bill is. I've never had any luck with it, so I don't use them. If you want to, go ahead and do it. But you're outside of my range.
Oh, okay. So if it's state.
You're telling me you're telling me a true bill. How about using an airline flight?
I'm trying to learn this stuff. I don't know how to go about it.
I understand. Well, no, what I'm saying to you is you're asking me for a true bill. I don't use them. I don't know what they are. I try to make it as simple as possible.
Okay.
If I make it as simple as possible, then I don't have to do all these covers. See, if you don't have any electricity and you light 47 candles, you have 47 chances of having a fire. If you light one, you only got one. So I try to light one so that I don't have to try to cover all 47 areas. I have one argument that I use on everything. Now, for the state, it's a different argument, but it's still one. Are you in front of a computer?
I only use my phone. No, I don't.
All right. Well, when you get time, we'll send you some documents you can use to help you with it.
It's from working. I mean, it was from work. I worked about 3 months out there doing electrical work. Speaking of that,
okay.
And I was just a laborer. I mean, I'm a licensed journeyman license. Yep.
Please hold on a minute. I don't care about any of that. That has nothing to do with me. What you're asking me is they're taking money from you. I can help you stop that. If they took it, I can help you get what they took. But as far as you being a laborer, a painter, a truck driver, or a tire breaker, I don't care. Because none of that matters to me. What matters to me is the government is out of control. We're trying to put them back in the box, and it's not. And they don't like it. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. How do I get in touch with you?
Okay. Whoever asked you to get here, at the bottom of that, there's an email address. Do you see it?
Okay. Let me see. I'll go to. It was. I got the email from Glenn, and it said. Am I talking to Ed Brennan or?
No, you're talking to Kerry. But Ed is the guy. If you get a hold of Ed, Ed will. And now the one problem we're having is people send us stuff, call me, and then they don't give us their phone number. I have a hard time calling them without a phone number. But send it to Ed. Get with your question. Ed will answer you, and if he can't, he'll send it to me, and I'll call you.
No problem.
And I'll go over. But when you do write him a letter, please do me a favor. Give us a phone number to get a hold of you.
I got it right here, Ed Brand. Yep, and I know the name. I've seen the name before. I can't place it, but I don't know. Okay.
The guy that sent it to you, the guy that sent it to you, that Glenn guy, ask him get a hold of Ed. He'll have it. He'll have it there somewhere.
Yeah. Rep text.
There you go. That's it.
Text 777 at AT&T. Okay. Yeah. Should I send them? I got 2 pieces of paper. Could I send those? Would it matter?
It doesn't matter to us. Do whatever you want.
Okay.
Send it.
Okay.
And once you send it, then we'll get in touch with you.
Okay. No problem. All right. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right. I'll mute.
What's in your purse?
No.
All right. Anybody else have a question?
I have a question.
All right, go ahead and ask it.
How can does U.S. code go for state taxes as well, or no?
All right. Okay, let me ask you a question. If you get a speeding ticket in a state, can you take it to the federal court?
You can.
Okay, but you will never win, and you can't. That's impossible. If you got a state tax issue, you go to the state court.
But under their contractual laws, they have to follow federal rules.
All right.
Because of the funding.
Then go there. No problem. Go there. I'm telling you what we're doing. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm telling you what we're doing.
So
we take the county that you live in, we take it to the state district court, and we deal with it there. But we set it up first. Do you know how to eat an elephant?
I'm sorry, you broke up.
How do you eat an elephant?
I'm partially deaf, so it's hard for me to hear you. What was that?
How do you eat? All right. How do you eat an elephant?
How do you eat an elephant, you ask?
Yes.
I don't eat elephants.
Okay, one bite at a time.
Yes.
Okay, so what we do is we go to the counties with several different sheets of paper, and we get the same answer every single time, and they're wrong. Now we have something we can use in the state court. So, but you can't sue the county in the federal because you haven't done your administrative remedy yet.
Okay. My mother's, because the question is more on my mother. They're attacking my mother on her taxes, and state is going after her. Federal sort of like backed off a little bit, but state continues to pursue. So I'm wondering. Yeah, I heard what you mentioned with the other person, where you can't use federal code for state. So how would I go about that? Use state rules or CPLR for state against state?
Neither. What we do is there's a federal statute that tells the state they cannot use federal obligations for property tax. That's what we use.
Is that in the notes that Ed sent?
That's in the federal statutes. But again, you can't sue the state in the federal until you've used your
exalt all remedies. I know.
Administrative remedy. That's correct.
Yeah, they played that. they play that in one of the cases that my wife and I have against her.
That's exactly right. So let me ask you a question. I want you to think about this. How do you give the court jurisdiction?
Consenting to it?
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. How do you give the court jurisdiction?
By consenting to it.
Okay, so I'm going to use what you said. You said consent to it. Your wife wants to get a divorce, so she goes to the federal district court, goes to the federal district judge. The federal district judge gives her everything, the house, both your cars, your retirement home, and you have to pay her $1,000 a month, and she gets your Social Security. What did your wife just get?
You gave them everything, basically. She gave them everything.
She got nothing. Why?
Yeah.
Federal district courts have no jurisdiction in divorce. So, to answer your question, you can't give it to them. Period. Now, if you think they have it, and you act as though they have it, then whether they have it or not, they don't even need it. So I'm going to ask you a question. There's two jurisdictions.
Mm-hmm.
In rem, which is subject matter, and in personam, which is personal jurisdiction. Which one's the most important for the court to have in order to see your case?
What was the first thing you said? The first one you said?
Okay. In rem, which is in rem, which is subject matter, and in personam is personal jurisdiction. Which one's the most important for the court to have, for them to have jurisdiction in your case?
Both of them.
Okay, so if they have to have both, how do you give it to them? You can't, because the Constitution says we have inalienable rights. That's unalienable rights. If the court is trying to lien them, they lose their jurisdiction. Period. That's what the law says. That's not what I say. So if you go in there and you stand dumb and stupid, don't answer them, they'll take it because you don't know if your ass has been punched or bored. That's not their problem. See, our problem is we want to go in there and say, I'm here by special appearance. So what? I'm here because I'm handsome. That don't matter either. Well, I'm here because one leg's shorter than the other. Don't make any difference. I'm here because my eye hurts. So what? See, nothing matters. See, the problem we're having is we are people living in a constitutional republic. They're trying to steal from us under the statutory government. The two don't mix. You put oil and water together, you'll see them. You can see them. You can shake them up, but you can still see them. The problem we're having is we're fighting the fight, in my opinion, incorrectly. I asked you, how do you give them jurisdiction? Well, by consenting. Don't matter if you consent or not. If they don't have it, they don't have it. So I consent to my next door neighbor's wife. So what? See? Okay, I consent to eating your sandwich at noon. So what? I don't care that I consent. I still can't have it. Doesn't that make sense?
So they use a tacit agreement. That's what you mean, right?
Okay, did I say what now?
No, you didn't say it, but I'm asking, though. That's what you mean.
Okay, I'm not understanding you. I don't understand the question, so I don't know what your question is.
Because you stated in the earlier conversation that they just take the agreement. So I'm just wondering if that's what you mean is a tacit agreement.
They take the what?
Tacit. Tacit.
Okay, I never said tacit. I never said tacit. Where did you get that? I never said that. They don't have it.
I know.
See, you're trying to. No, you're trying to make. Okay, wait a minute.
I'm just asking you the question. I'm just asking you the question. I know you didn't say it. I'm asking you the question, if that's what you mean.
Nope, that's not what I mean, because I don't know what tacit means. If they don't have it, they don't have it. If they don't have it, you can't give it to them.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. So would criminal fall under taxes as well?
Okay, I'm going to say this again. It falls under Jeep, Chevrolet, or Ford. I don't know what tacit is. I already told you that. So you're asking me, well, does tacit fall under nipples? I don't know. See, you're asking me a question.
Tacit is something. The definition of tacit is basically if a person doesn't speak nor agrees under the default of agreement, with that doctrine where it states that if you do not rebut against it, it's deemed true. So basically what they do is they take it under tacit. It's called tacit agreement doctrine.
Okay. I never heard of that before, because you don't have to worry about me shutting my mouth when I get to court. When I walk in the door, I start running off at the mouth, man, and I don't stop till they throw me out. So that isn't a problem with me.
Yeah, so, I got hit with contempt of court.
Okay. If you go to court and don't say nothing and they take it and you think they got it, that's fine. But you cannot give it to them if they don't have it. Period. All right,
okay,
I drive an F1. Wait a second here. I drive an F-150. I need a hood. I get a Chevy hood. It's a hood from a pickup truck the same year. Why won't the one fit on the other one?
What was that question?
Okay, I have an F-150. That's a Ford pickup. I need a hood. I went to the junkyard, and the junkyard guy sold me a red hood, just like my truck, red. And I got it home. It says Silverado on it. It won't fit on my F-150. Why?
I don't know.
Really? So you think Ford parts fit on Chevys and Chevy parts fit on Fords? Then how come when I get in an accident they want to put a Ford front fender on my truck? I don't want that anymore because the Chevy fender's cheaper. I'll start putting the Chevy fender on my F-150. Won't fit. Won't work. Why? Because they don't have the same jurisdiction. So and you can be a tacit, you can be as noisy, be as quiet as you want. A Chevy fender will never fit a Ford. Period. Under any circumstance. Now you can modify it, you can weld stuff on it, but a Chevy fender will not fit on a Ford. Period. Whether you talk about
Chevy.
It or not.
Okay, yeah. By the way, I'm partially deaf, so it's hard for me to understand something. I'm trying to catch up with you.
Okay, so where the problem comes, if we don't know, and we buy a Chevy fender to put on our Ford, we just lost money.
No. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Oh, no problem. My pleasure.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate for answering my question.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for asking. Anybody else have one for us tonight?
Next.
Hi, Carrie. This is Sue from Wisconsin. I finally got my order from the U.S. Tax Court, and they dismissed it due to lack of jurisdiction. Finally got it a couple days ago. Very happy. Yeah. So I emailed you, and I actually emailed Ed too. I'd like to know what to do next, but I'd like to do it just one-on-one with you. But I just wanted to give you the heads up that there's an email out there to you.
Okay, no problem.
All right, so thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for going to the court and getting that. Now
I'm so happy. So happy for what's next. Thank you. All right, take care.
Now you got your foundation set.
Yep. All right, talk to you soon.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gary.
Yes.
Did you check on? I called you one day and I couldn't pull up the tax court website.
Yeah.
Or the
I got on it okay, so that it was just a glitch in it apparently.
Oh, okay. It's probably mine. I'm getting hit with all kinds of stuff.
I understand. Yeah, it seemed to work that day for me, but I did it later than you did, so it seemed to work okay.
That's good. Okay. Next question. Anybody? Well, I hope they can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay. Nobody got any questions tonight? Well, it's going to be a short night, Kerry.
Looks like it.
I could ask you another question, Carrie, if you get a second.
Can you hear me okay? I had a question.
Yeah, go right ahead. Ask me.
I had a dismissal in 2018, and it was strange. First they came back and they only dismissed some of the years, and then eventually they came back and dismissed the rest.
That's good. You got everything you wanted. It don't matter how they do it.
Okay.
It doesn't make any difference. You just got you need 2 sheets of paper, that's all.
Okay. Now, should I go back and do it for 2019 also?
If you want to, you can.
Hey, Kerry, this is Bruce in Michigan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Hey, I requested a date for this WebEx next week, but I haven't heard back from the attorney in charge. So I'm going to give him a call tomorrow and find out what he's doing. But in this WebEx meeting that we talked about that I'm going to have next week or whenever they schedule it, how can they expect that to start out?
Well, if you'd have asked me when you talked to me, I'd have sent you a little packet I put together for it. I have a packet that we put together for it, and what it does is it gives you an outline. And when they say this, you say that. When they say this, you say that. When you say this, they should say that. If they don't, then you go back and ask this. So I have it already outlined for you.
Oh, I can request a copy of that then.
Well, that's the thing. Yes, Ed, we're trying to raise a little bit of cash for Ed in the Republic of Texas. So, yes, we'll be glad to send that to you for a donation, just to help us keep the call going.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. PayPal for payment, or how do I find out where to send the money to and how it works out?
Well, you're in Michigan. A Lincoln Navigator would be just fine. I like blue.
Oh, you like a Lincoln?
I'm just kidding you.
Yeah.
Email Ed, or Ed, you can tell them how they want to do it.
Just send me an email. I'm not going to give my address out over there.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't blame you. No. I understand that. Ed will do it if you'll give him your email. I'm sorry, email Ed, and he'll tell you how to do it. And then if you'll do that, we'll send you. And it's real comprehensive. It's something I've used about 100 times, and we've never lost with it.
Oh, super! I'll email Ed right after the call.
Right, and then he'll tell you how to do it, and then send it to him, and I'll throw a few extra things in there that I've used here in the last couple of weeks. It won't really make it any stronger, but it might make you feel better.
All right, hey, thanks a lot, gentlemen.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
I yield.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
Next.
Question: When you get jurisdiction, when you get the denial of jurisdiction, or they don't have jurisdiction, does it matter any date thereafter? In other words,
yes.
say
Okay. What they're telling you is they're telling you they don't have it from 04 to 19. But if you want to stop it from 19 on or 20 on, there's a document that we have that you have to send in to have that taken care of. And what it does is in Title 26, there's a couple of statutes that tell you can get out of the tax club at any time. And the reason you can, because you got in it before you knew it. So they actually, if you were 13 years old or 14 years old and started working, they started taking taxes, they couldn't do that without your parents' parental signature. They didn't get it. Therefore, they have to let you out if you ask. And I've got a document that I put together that takes care of that.
Okay. Now, would the title of that be in reference to?
Say that again.
I was just going to ask you, will the title of that be something in reference to statutory notice?
No, it's an affidavit that I put together. If you go to Title 26, 62, let's see, 6313 G and H, it tells you in there that you can get out, and here's how you get out. And once you get out, you're out.
Okay. All right. I will email Ed, and I'll send a donation in the process so I can get that taken care of.
That'll be fine. It will get you a notice, and that one there, we charge for that. So, but I'll get with Ed and see if Ed wants to. If Ed doesn't want to get involved with it, that's fine. But I don't, But I, anyways, just get with Ed, and he'll get with me, and we'll figure something out.
Okay. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can.
Now we can. Now we can.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to share something that happened to me. I did my process, and I got a court order back from the tax court stating that they had no jurisdiction from the years 2008 to 2017. And after that happened, I got a tax bill. And when they sent me that tax bill, within the body of it, it said that if I wanted to dispute it and therefore get a due process hearing, that I had to send in an explanation why. And so that's what I did. And in the explanation, I sent in exhibits, and one of the exhibits was the court order and also their motion explaining how they got the court order. So once I sent that off, they contacted me back about 2 months later, and they scheduled me a due process hearing over the phone. And I didn't know it, but I found out that the IRS wasn't even the ones that was giving the due process hearing. They have a third party that does the due process hearing. So had the conversation with her, and I explained my perspective, and she came back and said, well, that's not really what they meant. I said, what do you mean that's not what they meant? It's in black and white. It's a court order. And they're stating that there was no statutory notice of determination or statutory notice of deficiency. And I asked her, did she understand the difference between a statutory notice of deficiency as opposed to just a notice of deficiency? And she hee-hawed and, act like, well, there's no difference. So at that point, I knew that she didn't really have a full understanding of what was going on. So she said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a letter and let you know what our
determination is and whether or not we're going to grant you what you want. So 2 weeks went by, a month went by, and she called me and she said, well, right now I'm waiting on the IRS to send me a copy of the notice of deficiency for those tax years. Since COVID is going on, it's taken a long time for us to get those documents, so I'll just be in touch with you every 2 weeks or so to keep you updated. So that really didn't make a...
That's a victory in itself.
Yes, it is, because that didn't make any sense. And we all know why they said that they didn't have it, because they know it wasn't a statutory notice of deficiency. And they still won't find it.
No, they won't find it. And do you know why they can't give you a statutory notice of deficiency?
Probably because they didn't have the delegated authority to send one out.
Well, that's pretty close. But if anybody's on here, we'll look up Title 26, Section 6065. That's the statute. I'll show you what it has to say on it, and then you can make your own determination. But if you look up Title 26, Section 6065, hit *6 and read it to us, and that will answer your question. That's the reason I stand so heavy on this. See, we got them in a trap, and they're going to have to chew their leg off to get out of it. So if somebody will do that, Title 26, Section 6065, that's the statute, and that statute will tell you why they can't give you one.
Hey, Gary, I've got it right here.
Would you read it for us and stop so I can stop you along the way? Go ahead.
Okay. Except as otherwise provided by the Secretary, any return, declaration, statement, or other document required to be made...
Hold on a second. Would you say that the notice of deficiency or notice of determination, read those four again. Do you think it falls within the grounds of those four? Read those four again.
Any return, declaration, statement, or other document.
Stop right there. Do you think that falls within other document, maybe even? Now, let's read what it has to say, then you'll see why they can't send it.
Required to be made under any provision of the Internal Revenue laws or regulations shall contain or be verified by a written declaration that is made under the penalties of perjury.
So, if the IRS sends you something in the mail and it says under penalties of perjury, the foregoing is correct and true, then you probably got one. The problem is they're using their own whatever they're using, and it's never correct because they will not sign it that way. It can never be a statutory notice of deficiency or notice of determination. That's the reason I use it. They can't do one. It's impossible to do one. So that's the reason why I'm a nut job, because if you start saying, well, what about this and what about that? See, they're going to hang their hat on it. Well, you agree to this. So if they have to sign it under penalties of perjury and they don't sign it at all, there's a reason for it. It's not what they say it is. Thank you for reading that. I appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Okay.
So I don't think they'll ever find it, or they'll claim they never found it.
They won't find it. And see, you're on the positive side of it now. See, you're going to find out the power that you have. See, you have all the leverage. The leverage is all on your side now. And see, we're going to leverage them right into the ground if we can.
Right. I had another thing happen to me as well.
Okay.
I had got a notice of lien from the county, and when I got there,
you said I have a, and it stopped.
Yes, I got a notice of tax lien from the county mailed to me. Yeah. And when they mailed me that notice of tax lien, they also put it on their website. So I went on the website and I found my name and I saw that notice of tax lien. So after I got that, I mailed them a copy of the court order, and I sent a cover letter stating that this notice of tax lien is fraudulent, and based on the court order that I'm sending to you is proof that the tax lien does not exist. And 2 days later, they posted on the website that the lien was being taken off.
No, that's the way it's supposed to be done. See, you have the leverage that you have. What we're doing, if they don't do that, we don't care about the IRS anymore. We go after the county, and when we go after the county, that's how we do it. We write them a letter telling them to release it. If they don't, we go after the county with all vengeance. And the reason for it is they're saying it's a lien, a notice of lien. You don't file a notice of lien to damage somebody. Here's why. You did exactly what I would have done. Thank you for sharing that. That's a wonderful thing.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I have. But I appreciate the work you guys are putting in. It's helped me tremendously.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Hey, Kerry, I got one other question myself.
I don't care. You've already had your time allotted.
All right, I'll hang up here.
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, we've had many conversations. What's the status on recoupment? Is that still in progress? And part two, is there?
What is it? Okay, your phone. Hold on a minute. Your phone broke up. You said, "What is the status on?" And then it went dead. I didn't hear it after that.
On recoupment.
Okay, recoupment is, again, the problem we're having is this COVID. We got them against the ropes. And that's what their argument is. Well, we got to have this dismissed because of COVID. They never admit they did or didn't do anything, and now they're not being answered. So now we're going back for defaults. So we're just going to have to wait and see. So you're asking me a question, I don't really know the answer to, and the reason I don't know the answer to it, because we have them on the ropes, but with this COVID stepping up, we can write a letter to the court to get something, and we just can't get it all the time. So let's wait and see. The best thing we can do is, if you have retirement and they're taking it, get it reinstated. If they're taking your Social Security, let's get that reinstated. That's the most important thing, because then you got money to live. A shitty life, but you can still live. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to go back and recoup once the COVID and the courts get back in full swing. Because what they're doing now is they're working from home. And I don't think, so you send it to the court then scans it in. So they don't always go in. Then they email it to the person working on it. And I'm not sure that they want to work much. So they'll sit there and do whatever it is they do. So we're having a lot of just dead space right now. And I apologize for it, but there's not anything I can do about it.
Okay.
Did that help you? Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did.
All right.
The part two would be thanking.
Okay, now wait a second. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, part two. I don't understand. See, I get only part of the question. Well, what about part two? Okay. Part two of what?
No, this is just my second question.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I know before COVID you'd mentioned, and I missed a few weeks here, or maybe a month or two because of COVID, that we had the opportunity to get with you to possibly open up a bank account without that social, at least to give us a little liberty with this process.
I've already done the process, and we got 25 for 25 right now.
Okay. So I guess that would be something we do individually, in other words.
Well, I mean, if you want, I don't want to wait. We've already done it, but if you want to hear it, and people want to hear it, I mean, I can go over it. It only takes about 5 minutes to go over it. After I go over it, it'll make sense to you. So if people want to hear it, just let us know you want to hear it, and we'll go over it real quick.
I'm all in.
I agree.
I didn't hear you.
Definitely.
I definitely want to know.
Me too.
All right.
All right, I'll mute out. Thanks.
Okay. First of all, let me give you the history of it. I'm a flooring contractor, and I had a contract with the airport at Houston Intercontinental. And so I was there working real late one night, and a man was running late. So he was not running, but he was going faster than he should have been, or faster than normal. The man had a beard. The beard was poked back up under whatever they do, and on his head he had I don't want to insult anybody, but I don't know what it's called. But it was round. It went round and round and round. It went on top of his head, and he went through the metal detector, and the metal detector went off. And so I was watching this, and the TSA guy wanded his legs, wanded his waist, nothing. Then when he wanded his headdress, it went on. And he looked at him. He says, "You're going to have to take it off." He said, I can't take it off. Olive won't let me. So he reached up there and he said, "Can I touch it?" He said, "Yeah, go ahead." So he felt it. They were go ahead on in. So I saw with my own eyes a man get on an airplane, a commercial airplane, after setting off the metal detector, and Olive wouldn't let him look under there, so they let him go. I said, "There's my answer." So what I did is I went to the bank. I sit down with the bank, and I don't pounce on them. I'm very nice. I take everything they need. When I get there, they'll ask me questions. "Well, why are you here today?" "Well, I'm here to get an account." Then I ask questions at the same time. I take my pad. That way I can ask them at the same time. I'll ask them, "Well, I noticed you don't have a legal department in this branch." "Oh, no, we have it at the home office." Or "We use Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe at the corner down there." I just write it down. I can find it on the internet after that. See? Then they'll ask me for my first name, and I give it to them, my last name. Then I give them my passport because I don't have a driver's license. So they write it down, and the whole time I'm asking them questions. "So this attorney firm, do they do all your banks or just this particular bank?" "Oh, no, they do all of our banks." See, or that law firm. That law firm might be every state. I don't know how it works. Or they'll say, "No, it's in the home office. Our home office is in Seattle." So I write it down. So then when she asks me for my Social Security number, I look at her and say, I'm confused. Why do you need that? I got to have her tell me. They tell me without fail, "Well, the bank's policy says you have to have it." I said, "Oh, well, we got a problem because my religion says the Social Security number is the mark of the beast and we're forbidden to use it." Then I pull out the First Amendment of the Constitution that I have highlighted that says I have a freedom of religion, and I hand it to them. I have the Texas Constitution that says the same thing, and I have it highlighted. In fact, I have the United States on one side, and I flipped it over, and I typed, and I have the Texas one on the other side, and I have it laminated. And I hand it to the lady, and I say, "Ma'am, I can't give that to you because that's against my religion." So they won't give it to me. Well, I got Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe, so I write them a letter, and I basically say, "Is it the bank's policy to discriminate against a person's color, sexual orientation, creed, or religion? Is that the bank's policy?" And I write it to the attorney. Guess what they always say?
No, it's not.
Of course not. Now, I said, would you put that in writing, please? Because we got a conflict. I went to your bank and they won't let me have a checking account because of my religion. It's not about the Social Security number anymore. It's about my religion. Once I get the letter from the attorneys, they don't discriminate. They discriminate against color, age, the main four, or religion. When I walked in, I said, "We got a problem. You won't give me you won't give me a count because of my religion." No, it's because of your Social Security number. No, it's not. My religion says that the Social Security number is the mark of the beast. I am forbidden to use it. It's not about the Social Security number. It's about my religion. And I'm just an asshole enough to push it so hard that when I walk into the bank and say, "I need another account," they just hand it to me. They don't even care. They don't even ask any more questions. Because it's not an argument they can win. They cannot win an argument when their policy supersedes. Okay, think about this for a minute. They said you can't have them because you're white. You can't have them because you're black. You can't have them because you're Hispanic. You can't have them because you're an Indian. Can you imagine? They would never. Well, guess what? That's what they're saying. You can't have them because of your religion. Because it ain't about the Social Security number. I have one. I want to use it. Sometimes I think my church is way out in left field. But it's my religion. That's what I believe, and that's what I do. Now they have nowhere to go. Does that make sense?
Crystal clear. Well, yes.
Yes, it does.
100%.
You don't go in there and say, "I ain't giving it to you, sons of bitches." You don't go in there. You don't go in there and just start ripping it. When they ask you your name, you carry on a nice conversation with them, And I do, and I get everything that I want up front. Now that I have it, they know I have it. She just refused giving me an account because of my social. That's not what it is. My religion says. I saw a man get on an airplane that set off the metal detector, and they put him on an airline flight. I saw it. Then I realized that's how powerful we have. This is the power we have, but we don't use it right. We go in there, we tell them, "Son of the bitches, you're gonna bow to my knee." I don't care what they do. I'm in there for a reason. I'm sorry I cut you off and didn't mean to. Go ahead.
Let me interject just for a second on that, on these, what you said. I went to Bank of America. I put up a fight. I got a document about the Patriot Act and how a couple of things were removed from the Patriot Act and the privacy of using the Social Security number. They refused. They gave me a hard time. I mean, I didn't get paid from a guy because I wouldn't use the Social Security number. And the Department of Ohio, the Ohio Department of Labor and Wage, told me he was in violation of 2 sections. I mean, I have been getting beat up. You just said so. I just can't believe you just said that. And that there's a way around this stuff, and it's right in front of our faces. It's in the documentation.
Well, you see, the problem is I don't think like other people do. See, I think so far outside the box, they don't see it coming. Now, the guy that just said something to me about Ohio, can I ask you a question?
That was Mike. Yes.
All right, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, if I kick you directly in the crotch, right in the scrotum, would it hurt? And I get a direct hit, and I swing my leg at 80 miles an hour. Would it hurt?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, let me show you what you're saying. You answered it, and this is where the problem comes. Ed, if I kick him in the scrotum, would it hurt you?
It wouldn't hurt me.
See? Now you got a problem. See the problem you have? You brought that on yourself because you answered the question. Now ask me the same question, and I'll show you how I answer everything.
I lost you there, Kerry, for a second. I don't know the analogy.
Okay, ask me the same question so I can show you how to answer it so you can start to think where they can't clip you?
About this not using the Social Security number. But I didn't get paid from one guy, and the bank and Bank of America would not remove the Social Security number.
Okay, that's okay. That's because it's about the Social Security number. Now, I want you to. I want to show you what you did. If you kick me right in the scrotum as hard as you could, ask me if it would hurt.
If I kick you in the scrotum, would it hurt?
Hurt who?
You.
It would hurt me. See, now I now control it. I can't call in, Ed. I control it. Of course it would hurt me. It would hurt you or nobody else. That's right. How I think. Because of that, that's the argument I give them. See? In other words, if I poke you in the eye and bury my finger down to the knuckle in your eye socket, would it hurt?
Yes.
Okay, Ed, if I poke him in the eye, would it hurt?
Not me.
See? Now you're going to defend that. That's why you can't get it, because you're making it about the Social Security number. See?
So how would I...
Okay, it's not about the Social Security number with me. It's about my religion. And I have a right to my religion, and they cannot pass any laws to waiver me or to supersede anything that I believe. That is the most powerful argument. You're making it about the Social Security number. Because I asked
Gotcha.
you, right? Let me ask you another question. Can I ask you that? What color is a red? What color is a red shirt?
Red.
Okay, ask me the same question.
What color is a red shirt?
To whom?
Your red shirt.
You see what you're doing? You're now defending. See, you're defending. No, I'm
gotcha.
Okay, I'm colorblind. I don't see red, so I don't know what color because I've never seen red. See, I can now beat you. I can have you defending a question you asked. See, it's not about the Social Security number. What is it about?
Well, I mean, I got two issues. One,
no, it's about your religion, guy. It's about.
Well, yeah, the bank account would be the religion. Would it be the religion about this electrician didn't pay me for the 2 weeks work I did? I've been dealing with that a little bit. I still have another year to take him to court, but I mean, I don't know.
No, on that's no. If you did the work and he won't pay you, then what you can do is just go get an attorney and they'll put a mechanic's lien on his entire operation. He'll pay you. That's easy. That's easy. You don't even have to worry about that. Tell an attorney whatever he sees, just put it on there and charge him, and you'll get your money. They can't not pay you for working. That they can't do. I'm a contractor, and I have a lot of people that don't pay me. When I get done, I own the building, or it looks like I'm going to own the building. They just throw me off the building and pay me my money. But I'm not going to work for someone I'm not going to pay. See, I'm just
okay.
That's just the way I am.
Why? I got into it with the Department of Labor and Wage in District 12 of Ohio, which is Cleveland, and they told me that they qualified me as an employee, and that I should have gotten overtime as well. So it went from 2,600 to about 4,500. I didn't get that. That was the only time I worked. The last time I worked, it needed double hernia surgery. But they didn't want to do nothing. They were so mad at me. Because I think they were mad because I had an assumed name certificate registered in Minnesota. They asked me for an authorization, and I didn't want to sign the document. And I finally signed the document to let them speak of my name, which I felt like it was so ridiculous. Like, it took them 8, 9, 10 months, so they were usurping whatever they do. I don't know how they get paid, if it's a surety account, whatever, sovereign, whatever, I don't know. I'm still not up on a lot of that stuff, but I'm learning.
Let me explain it to you what you're doing. I can tell you what the problem is. You're making it all about you. You're making it all about you. And when you do that, there's 1,000 problems you've just created.
Okay.
Here's what you said. Okay, here's what you said. Sovereign. Define sovereign for me. Tell me what it is.
A man severed from the United States citizenship and is a state citizen.
In John of the Bible, it says, I am God Almighty. I am sovereign God Almighty. So the Bible says it's God Almighty. See, now we got a problem. You got a problem because now you're defining it one way. They may not define it. That's why I never bring me into the argument. I never bring me into the argument.
Okay. I think I got to learn. This is...
What?
I got to learn. I mean, I just started studying this stuff last March of 2019, and I've learned a lot. I mean, I've got documentation you probably know about a lot of the stuff I do, but maybe I'm going about it the wrong way. I mean, I've got the debt-based monetary system, and then I went into the Social Security manual, and I realized that we have a legal name, and we have an organization that was organized. Now, whether or not that means anything, I went and I got the assumed name certificate from the state of Minnesota because it makes you the name holder. And now I'm worried about being the name holder of that name, so I'm responsible for that name, the accommodated party, for everything that occurs under that name.
Okay. Here's the problem. See?
Okay.
I don't do anything. I don't care. I use what does the law say. If the law says they got to pay me, they got to pay me. If the law says that, okay, I'll tell you what I want you to do, if you will. Go to Title 1 of the computer, Title 1, Section 1, and come back when you get it. I'm going to show you what they're doing to us. We just don't understand this, and because we don't understand it, they're taking advantage of us, and because we don't understand it, we let them. If someone would look up Title 1, Section 1 for me, and I'll show you what they're doing to us. Then
1 U.S.C. 1, isn't that person, individual, and human being? Legal fictions?
No. Title 1, Section 1.
Okay, I thought it was 1 U.S.C. 1.
I don't care what you thought. I asked you to look up Title 1, Section 1, and tell me what the name of it is.
Let's see. I'm trying to do it on my phone.
That is Title 1, USC, Section 1.
Okay, what's the name of it? What's the name of it?
The name of the title.
Okay, I'll say it again. What's the name of it?
Who mentioned Title 1?
Okay.
It looks like words, donating number, gender, and so forth.
Now, if you will, the guy that just said that, start reading it, and I'm going to stop you and show you why they're killing us. Go ahead and start reading it.
All right. And determining the meaning of any act of Congress, unless the context indicates otherwise.
Stop right there, okay? Stop right there. Title 26 was written by Congress. You did not see where it said in there, any act of Congress that has not been enacted into positive law. It doesn't say if it doesn't have the wrong OMB number. It says any act of Congress unless we tell you otherwise. Now, let me show you what they're saying. Now, read the next batch, and I'll stop you and let you tell me what it says. Go ahead.
Words importing the singular include and apply to several persons, parties, or things.
Okay, so do you know what the word single means?
Singular?
No, yeah. What does the word singular mean?
I'll look it up.
No, it says right there, multiples, more than one. Multiple. Read the next.
Yeah.
Read the next one.
Words importing the plural, including the singular. There you go.
See? So here's what it's saying. Okay, I have 3 wives. Really? Yeah, but the Bible, it doesn't matter. I only got one. See, they can tell you that unless they tell you otherwise. See, the problem is we think, well, I'm a sovereign. I'm a non-resident alien. I'm a, so what? I got 6 toes on one foot and 3 on the other. So what? It doesn't say that. It says, unless we tell you otherwise. So when they're asking you a question, you're answering the question. You're answering it just like they want you to. So that's what I'm doing. When they ask me a question, I asked you what color a red shirt was. You said red. I said, to whom? See? Now, unless they tell me otherwise, you just told them it was red. So they throw you a green shirt. Well, what's this? That's your red shirt. Put it on. But it isn't red. You did define it. It is now. It is now because we just said it was. That's what they're doing to you. Let's read the next one now. Next little group.
This is crazy. Words imported to masculine gender include the feminine as well.
Now, do you see the problem with that?
Wow.
See? Okay, here's what the problem is. You're telling me you're a sovereign. What, a sovereign man or woman? Well, I'm a sovereign man. No, you're not. You're a woman. Shut up, sit down. See the problem? They have words that we don't understand, and we're arguing an argument we don't understand. We're arguing an argument we shouldn't be arguing. See? None of that makes any difference. Now read the next one.
Words used in the present tense include the future as well as the present.
Okay? That's pretty obvious. Read the next one.
The words insane and insane person shall include every idiot, insane person, and person non-compos mentis. The words person...
Hold it. That's why the judge always says, we're going to send you in for a mental evaluation. To see, now that's what they're telling you. We're not talking to you about what you think. We're going to talk to you about what we think it is. So there's a way to stop all of that. Go ahead and read the next one.
All right. The words person and whoever include corporations, companies, associations, firms, partnerships, societies, and joint stock companies as well as individuals.
Now, unless they tell you otherwise, read the next one.
Officer includes any person authorized by law to perform the duties of the office. Signature or subscription includes a mark when the person making the same intent or intended it is as such. Oath includes...
Have you ever heard... Hold on a minute. Have you ever heard this? I need a blue ink signature original from the judge for this to make any good. Read that one again.
I said earlier in the year. Signature or subscription includes a mark when the person making the same intended it as such.
Okay, so if you get a dot on a piece of paper, you have to go to prison for the rest of your life and you get slugged every day. Dot. Tell me what that dot is.
That's your mark, your signature.
It's the judge's blue ink signature. That's what it says, unless they tell you otherwise. Now, it gets worse. Let's read it and keep reading it.
Oath includes affirmation and sworn includes affirmed. Writing includes printing and typewriting and reproductions of visual symbols by photographing, multigraphing, menographing, manifolding, or otherwise.
Okay, so if you get a dot on a piece of paper and you're the 25th dot deep, tell me what that would be.
25th generation.
Okay, but it would be an original. It would be an original. See, because he meant it to be. Now, see the problem we're having, why I argue the way I argue? When we argue, I did not receive a statutory notice of deficiency. They come back and say, well, was it in blue ink? Then we're going to say, well, I didn't. See, that's the problem. They never told us what they were doing. That's why they never give you one. Unless they tell you otherwise. It's whatever. It's a free-for-all.
You know,
what?
I was going to say that's very clear, but something I was telling someone else because, you know, people proclaim me to be a sovereign citizen, but I said a sovereign is, the only one that can be a sovereign is God. And a citizen is only a private individual or a private person on the land.
Wait a minute. You just made a determination. Let's go back and, okay, is a citizen a male or a female?
It doesn't matter.
Really? It doesn't matter, okay? Does he have 2 legs or 4?
Doesn't matter.
Really?
It's just
so
private individual.
They have four-legged people out there.
Anyone that's private, in that capacity, in that role, they're private. In other words, no one can...
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't say what you say. It says, unless they tell you otherwise. So you know what a citizen is? It's a person that has blue teeth and red eyes and has 3 legs. Now they told me what it was. That's why no matter what you argue, if you argue anything to do with you, you're screwed.
Exactly.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. How do you give the court jurisdiction?
You really can't.
That's exactly right. But if we know that, then we have our defense is put up to where they don't have it. They can't get it. So all of our questions that we answer are answered in the way they don't have it. Therefore, it never plays well for them.
You know, let me say something on that, which is not a tax issue, but it has to do with jurisdiction. I was in Montana again. I was working out there. I wouldn't give the cop my license on Christmas time, and he said it was a crime. And I said, no, it's not. There's no injured party. It's a statutory penal code. I didn't go to the court because I knew they were crooked. I went to try to file a motion saying, hey, challenge jurisdiction. They said they had jurisdiction. And I said, no, you don't. And I knew it wasn't a court of record. I never went back. There is no warrant for me, but I guess the lady said that there was.
Okay, but let me tell you where you made your mistake. Okay? They're not a court of record, therefore they don't have jurisdiction. That's not true. They don't have jurisdiction because they don't have it. See, what you're doing is your premise is flawed. Your argument is flawed. Do you see where I'm coming from?
I read the Montana Code. It says, and I think in what it says, you can abolish the government. I don't know the exact words, but it does say it in their constitution. It says it in the very beginning of their constitution. And I think it's the first one, the second one. Yeah.
Hold on a minute. Your argument is flawed. You cannot use that argument, and here's why.
Oh, okay.
You're taking a constitutional argument to a statutory court. That's like okay. Wait a minute. Texas sends you a property tax. Texas sends you a property tax bill to Montana. Do you have to pay it?
Right, I get it. No, I know what you're saying.
No, that's not. No, you don't. Do you have to pay it?
I would say no.
Okay, then why is that? Because they don't have jurisdiction to send it. So you can say, well, under the Constitution of doesn't matter. We have to understand we're in a statutory court. Use the statutes. If you use the statutes, they can't argue with you. The reason the judges are corrupt, we let them be corrupt. We're going to go there and we're going to tell them, I'm here by special appearance and I'm a sovereign. First of all, that makes no sense to me. You're in a statutory court. Unless they tell me otherwise, so I play it just like that. They'll ask me, do you know why you're here? Yes, I do. Why? Because I'm handsome. No? Oh, then I guess I don't. Then why am I here? Tell me. See? I asked, the first thing I asked, does this court have jurisdiction? Yes. Great. Can I see it? No. Oh. So I'm assuming this is a traffic code court, and I shut my mouth. Well, yeah, okay. So that means I've just placed, he's a traffic code court, I got a traffic ticket. Guess what? The traffic code in Texas says for commercial use only. They can't use the traffic code court on me because I'm not in traffic. So what I do is I make them tell me otherwise. I don't care about anything else. Now let me ask you a question. What state are you in right now, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm in North Carolina.
Okay, in Texas, we wear blue jeans almost every day. We wear them to everything. Do you guys wear blue jeans in North Carolina?
Well, I'm from the Northeast, New York and Boston, so I've always wore jeans.
Okay. Now, you see what you just did? TMI.
I changed it. I defended.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. You said yes, you wear jeans. That's not what I asked you. I asked you if you wore blue jeans. So now I'm going to define what blue jeans are because you said yes. Blue jeans are pink panties that you wear on the outside of your pants. Do you wear those? Do you wear those?
No.
Then you're going to prison. You're going to prison for 25 to life because you lied to the courthouse. Next. See, you want to tell me too much. I'm from Boston. I'm from the Northeast, so we wear jeans all the time. I didn't ask you that. Do you wear blue jeans?
Gotcha.
See, unless I tell you otherwise. Now, you're in South Carolina, right? Is that what you said right now?
I'm in North Carolina right now.
Okay, you're in North Carolina. Okay, we're from Texas. We say y'all. What do you say in North Carolina?
Well, these people say y'all. I say you.
You
all.
Okay, so wait a minute. So in other words, y'all and you means the same thing. Well, y'all means I sleep with the next door neighbor and I show myself to children. So is that what you means? Hello?
What do you mean?
See, unless I tell you otherwise. You didn't ask. So you're going to defend from now on. I won't defend. So if you were to say to me, well, we say you, what do you say in Texas? I had no idea. We don't say that, so what does you mean? So I can answer you. See, I do that on everything. What does that do? That protects me against them. So let me ask you a question, okay? How many tires does your car have on it?
I'll say, what do you mean?
What do I mean? It's those black round things that are on the car. How many do you have?
Can you please define that?
I'm going to say, it can be many round things.
Okay, it's the round things that you put air in that are on a rim. How many of those you have on your car? Okay, by your silence, I'm going to put you in jail for contempt of court. I'm going to give you 120 days. Next. See?
So if I kept saying, I don't know what you mean.
No, you corrupted yourself. See?
That's tacit agreement, then, is what you're saying.
Okay. See? Or ask me the same question.
You guilty by silence?
No, ask me the same question.
What was that? I lost you.
How many tires you got on your car?
What kind of tires are you talking about?
See, I'm trying to show you. You asked me the same question.
Okay. I got a...
okay, how many tires do you have on your car? I don't know how much simpler I can make it. Now, you're going to have to ask me or I won't answer you.
4? Or should I question...
See what you?
No,
I
he's
didn't
asking
say
you
that.
to ask the same question.
Let me help you with the answer. Ask me the same question.
How many tires are on your car?
I don't have a car.
How did you get here?
So how do you get around?
F-150.
What is an F-150?
Truck. That's a truck.
Now, what if they come around to you and then define it and play their games in court? You know, you made me realize that when I was younger.
I have 5 tires on my truck.
Yeah, that's true. It's right. I got a spare tire.
Unless they tell me otherwise, I'm going to tell them what I want to say. See, it doesn't matter. My truck, I use it to haul tires in, so sometimes I have 85 tires in it. See, until they tell me otherwise. See, don't ask me what I think or I'll tell you. See, that's the problem. Everybody goes back to the thinking that they're used to. See, I don't do that. I give them an argument. There is no answer for them to. If somebody's making a lot of noise, would you be courteous and hit star 6?
Let me see here. It might be me. I think the air conditioning just came on.
Gary, it's time's up.
All right. I hope that helped everybody. Does that
Hey, Gary, could I interject one thing real quick?
Yes.
Everything that you're saying actually makes sense. And I came across one of the educators from the early 1930s, and she said something to the fact that we're basically going to, make the American people, lack a better word, stupid. And she used the analogy in reference to a pencil. And she goes and says she can ask a 3-year-old, or even a 18-year-old, and they would answer the same question. Is this a pencil? And she goes and says, we know it's not a pencil. It's elements of lead, rubber, and wood to create a pencil, but it is not a pencil.
Right. And see,
that's
what I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to show you, instead of getting mad at me, what we need to do is understand Title I, Section 1, read it, understand what they're saying. Unless they tell you otherwise, it's whatever I say it is. That's how we beat them in the property tax issue. We ask them certain questions. They do not answer it, they shot themselves in the foot. If they answer it, they shot themselves in the foot. It doesn't matter if they do or they don't. We got them. And that's how that's how I set up everything. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. It was very, very educational.
Thank you so very much.
Our next call is the 25th.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling tonight.